Welcome to another episode of the Bald Guys on the Bench podcast with your hosts Graham Cohen and Scott Wasco.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Bald Guys on the Bench, a sports comedy podcast for the everyday fan by the everyday fan.
Like we always do, Scott, when rambling together about sports, it's time to grab one and crack one, brother. Cheers.
Hold on. Let me do something before we grab it and crack it.
Oh, welcome, joining the party. It is about time. Who you representing over there, big boy?
Bright.
Who you representing?
You're going to set my soul.
My soul.
Gonna set my soul on
fire. Wow.
Let's grab it. Let's grab it, bro.
Let's crack it.
Let's go. You see that right there? You see the original? Let's go. So, as we start this episode off, all our listeners already know I'm on cloud 9, right? I mean, let's go.
I mean, better than cloud 8.
I mean, and if you don't know, you probably haven't listened.
Yeah. So that's right, folks. Now that we can see each other, we can see that what jersey you got in there, buddy?
I'm just speechless right now. Do you really have to ask?
Well, the people that that will be listening to us on Spotify can't see it, so I guess you're right. The loyal fans, they should know. The Florida Panthers jersey.
Oh, I'll smack you in your bald head. The most successful expansion team of all times. I mean, 2 trips to the Stanley Cup in 6 years. I'm just going to tip
is
my
that
hat
good?
right there. I mean, the owner, Bill Foley, when he took over the team, he goes, "We're going to win a cup in 6 years." And guess what? It's year number 6. And guess what? We laid the wood to the Dallas Stars last night.
Really? I missed it. What happened?
If there was ever a perfect game to be a Vegas Knight fan and have no stress, that was the game.
Considering what you said to me the previous night.
I'm not going to say I didn't. After being up 3-0, okay, and we lost, and then we lost again, going back to Dallas, and then we did what we did last night to the Stars. It was pretty awesome. But before we get into that, I had to put on the original gangster hat, just to show my love. The real OG hat. Not my first Knights hat, but my favorite Knights hat. So going into that, we won last night, right? Blowout. Yes. And the Heat won last night. Blowout. And yeah. I sent you a stat last night that I saw. Before we go into hockey and NBA, can you just tell our listeners and viewers about this stat that I sent you? I'm sure everybody's seen it right now, but think about it.
And if they haven't,
it's amazing. And the best part about it, before I let you say what it is.
No, go ahead, please.
Is that it happened to the city of Boston. Everybody knows how much I'm not a fan of the city of Boston. We've talked about the Tea Party. We've talked about, this and that. But this stat, go ahead and read it. Let's hear it. Let's go.
Oh, this is
it's your moment to shine. This is like Jim Nance. One shining moment. Let's go.
I feel the same way, Scott, about Boston. So the fact that you let me get to lead off with this is great. So, city of Boston, thank you for becoming the first city to lose a home game, and not just any home game, a home game 7 to an 8 seed in both hockey and basketball in the same season.
And what does everybody say the greatest 2 words in sports are? What? Game 7.
Win, baby.
No, game 7.
Yeah, right.
And the Bruins doing what they did in the regular season. Panthers go, yeah, hold my beer. And the Celtics being down, what were they down? Were they down 3-0?
Yeah. It was 3-0. I mean, the fact that they got it back to a game 7 was impressive enough. Granted, the miracle shot
by White.
The guy's name.
The tip in.
Yeah, the tip in at the end. I mean, they should have finished him off in game 6, but still, that being said, hey, everyone can say, hey, well, actually, you know what? I won't even we'll get into it later, but that game, wow.
As you just said that stat, I know you're in California, I'm in Virginia, but I got to virtually like cheers you right now. I mean, somehow, some way, I mean, I'm just going to hit my screen.
Oh,
you know, I mean, thanks for playing. It was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, can you hit your screen, or are you too cool for that?
Well, I mean, there's a reason why we had IT issues last time.
And that's because we were in the same place.
Yeah. Let's take this liquid and bang it against our laptop. That's a great idea, Graham.
Well, you're in a glass, I'm in a can.
Fair enough.
So whatever. How was your weekend once you got back from Virginia? I know it took you a while to catch up. I mean,
yeah. Let's just say this, folks. It's not very often your boy is in bed before midnight, 2 nights in a row. Let's just say I got some much needed recovery sleep between that and work. So just really watch the playoffs, do work, do the edits for the podcast of our episode last week that we did together when we were in town. Folks, if you didn't know, we're now live on YouTube. So check us out. Bald Guys on the Bench. Episode 2 is what we're taping right now. Well, episode 51, but you know what I mean.
And like Graham used to say back in the day, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that bell or whatever it was. What was it? The notification bell. Yeah. So, you know, it's pretty fun to be on YouTube now and actually have to watch what I'm doing. And, you know, I can't go disappear to go pee anymore, but yeah, we'll see how long.
I mean, you can. We can have another counter on the screen for that too. Scott's pee breaks.
That's a pretty good idea, actually. As we're talking right now, I mean, you ain't wrong. That was a great idea there, fella. But you know, as you all can see,
and a half bench.
As you can all see, I'm wearing my Vegas Golden Knights jersey. The best part about this jersey is it came from a member at my last club in California. You might know this story. You might not know this story. But he got me this jersey from one of those Fugazi
Goodwill stores?
Not real stores like in Japan or China or whatever. And he got me the jersey and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool, right? Remember? Well, the dude that got me the jersey was from Dallas.
Okay.
And a huge Stars fan.
Pretty ironic.
But he knew that I was a huge, Knights fan. And after we closed out the series last night, he actually sent me a text and was like, dude, so pumped for you. So bummed that we got the wood laid to us. But wear that jersey with pride. Y'all dominated. And I was like, you're damn right we did.
Oh, you know what?
But no, I actually said, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Blah, blah, blah. I was trying to be sentimental. I wasn't trying to kick the guy when he was down. But in the back of my mind, I was going, bright light city's going to set my soul, going to set my soul on fire. But anyhow, I was stressing, dude, when we were up 3-0. Then it was 3-2. Going back to Dallas. We played the perfect game last night. A lot of people that I follow on Twitter that are beat writers for the Knights, Jesse Granger that writes for The Athletic that follows the Knights, literally said last night was the best game the Knights have ever played in their existence. He said last night, the first 15 minutes of the game was probably the best 15 minutes of hockey by one team in the last 5 years. The Knights didn't make a mistake, dude. They came out like they had to.
That's a statement.
And that's not saying because we scored 3 goals in the first 15 minutes. It's saying because they didn't miss a puck. They didn't turn it over. The forecheck was back. we're the bigger, more physical team, and the boys laid the wood. Bruce Cassidy, first-year coach, had my guys fired up. Okay. One of our best listeners, Tyler TP, as everybody knows, was like, you guys are the better team on paper, but you're not playing it like it right now on Saturday night. And they came out last night and they were the more physical team. Our defense is huge, dude. And our defense is fast. And our team is deep. And that's why I like our chances going to play against Florida. And Florida, I'm not gonna talk any shit against the Panthers because, I'm sorry, what did they do? They beat the 1, 2, and 3 seed in the East as an 8 seed.
Is that good?
Yeah. Pretty bleeping good. Okay.
Right?
And, it gets started on Saturday night. The Knights have home ice advantage. It's a very even match series. Vegas has it. The Knights a favorite, minus 130. Panthers like plus 120, whatever. That's about as even as it's going to get. Me being a Knights fan, trying to be unbiased, because we talked about this our first couple episodes. We're not talking fan ball. We're talking real ball, right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty even series. On paper, the Panthers might be a little faster than us, but they haven't played a defense like the Knights. The Knights are the least most penalized team in the NHL. And in the last 2 games against Dallas, there was only 2 penalties against us. We're the best 5-on-5 team in the NHL. If we go down a man, not so much. We're not even we're not even great when we have the power play. Okay.
Yeah, I've been noticing.
You know what I mean? But if we keep it 5-on-5, thanks for playing. It favors us. If we play like we did last night, in that game last night, you could beat
Jerry, the Olympic team.
You, me, Jerry, and Scott Martinez are going to be at the parade.
Let's go.
Okay. Just saying. I mean, obviously I'm biased. I'm so fired up. But I'm also giving credit to the Florida Panthers. And people forget, and this is something I was thinking about today. I heard it on NHL Network on the way to work. People forget the Florida Panthers were the number 1 seed in the East last year. They're not a bad team over there. Right. They just had a very underachieving regular season this year. They've got a hot goalie. They've got a hot goalie who, as of right now, is the favorite to win the Conn Smythe Trophy, which is the NHL playoffs MVP, for those that don't know. The guy has just played. He's been standing on his head making saves, right? Yes, they swept the Carolina Hurricanes, but the Hurricanes were in every one of those games. I mean, the first game was 4 overtimes. I mean, there wasn't a dominating game, But I don't know. What do you got? I mean, you're not an educated hockey fan.
So,
I mean,
thank you. So, a couple of questions. Number one, did they play? I'm assuming they played each other during the regular season. And
yes, and I have no idea. I have no idea what that record was.
Now,
the only regular season record I can tell you right now off the top of my head is we were 1-3 against the Oilers. We waxed that ass. We were 0-4. We were 0-4 against the Stars in the regular season without Ike or Stone. We waxed that ass. So regular season is regular season. I don't care.
Hey, playoffs are another, are something else. I completely agree with you. Look, the way both teams have been playing, it's almost an even, even matchup. What I was going to ask you is how many games you think? I mean, the way it's playing out, minimum 6, if not 7. And if that is the case, how much Pepto-Bismol are you going to be buying? Because I know your stomach's going to be in knots.
I don't even want to think about it, about how many games it's going.
You're just thinking
all.
about the dub.
I just want to win, dude.
Fair.
I know it's going to be extremely stressful. I'm thinking about to my first year as a Knights fan against the Capitals, and we won game 1.
Right.
And then we lost 4 straight. And the difference in this team and that team, in my mind right now, is guess what? We
Coaching?
did not.
Oh, you didn't touch the cup.
We did not touch the trophy last night.
I mean,
and guess who did touch the trophy?
Florida?
The Florida Panthers.
Well,
and another fun stat I saw last night, teams that have had a 9+ day break going into the Stanley Cup Finals are 1-9 in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, good thing.
Not saying I
broke.
Not saying I believe that shit, blah, 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 blah. I'm giving all the credit right now to my head coach in his first year as a Knights head coach, Bruce Cassidy. My guy never missed the playoffs with the Boston Bruins, gets fired. The Knights jump on him super quick. He made a change last night in the 4th line. And do you remember what the score was? 6-0, right? It was 6-0 last night. Well, guess what? That change in the 4th line, do you know how many goals the 4th line scored last night?
I feel like it's high. Was it like 4?
The game winner. The only thing that matters is the game winner, and that's Will Carrier. That's all that matters. Because it was
the game winner was the first one.
Exactly.
The game winner was
that's
the
Will
first
Carrier.
one.
Exactly. And guess what? The 4th line scored that game winner. That's all I care about. So my coach made the change, did what he had to do, and we got the dub. That's all I care about. But
well, I'm glad that you're off, I don't want to say suicide watch, but you're off stress mountain. Because like I said, before that game started, what'd you say to me the night before?
Oh, dude.
This could go 7. This could get ugly.
Dude,
We could go up 3 and out 4.
I'm not even going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about Jerry.
Dude, get him.
I mean, talk about negative Nancy. He goes, dude, wake me up on Wednesday when it's game 7. He goes, no chance we win tonight. But you know what? Who was the first person I FaceTimed last night when we got that dub? It was Jerry. So,
wait, hold on. Did you get the tequila? Was that it?
I did not. I broke the curse.
Wow, the curse is over.
But you know what's
getting it back.
Even cooler? What's even cooler than that?
What's that?
My little Vegas Golden Knights gnome that's sitting over underneath my TV. That's my guy.
Oh, okay. I remember when I saw it when I was there, but I didn't know if you brought it out recently or if that's been
first time ever. First time ever.
Okay.
It was actually a Christmas present I bought for Jerry. Forgot that I had it, never mailed it to him, and then I was like, yeah, he's not getting it now.
Wow.
Right. So fun fact real quick.
I like those.
For the first time ever in Stanley Cup Finals history, both teams, their point leaders are American.
What?
And that's Matthew Tkachuk and Jack Eichel. I mean, think about that, dude. First time ever. First time ever that two teams in the Stanley Cup Finals have American players that are leading their teams in points.
Hold on, American. What nationality is Tkachuk?
I don't know.
I'm just looking at that spelling right now, and I'm like, what the heck?
Right.
Sorry to go off topic. I'm just looking at that. I was like, where is that name from?
You're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong.
It's like
but
the mountain people.
Yeah. I mean, another fun fact is whoever wins this year is guaranteed to win their first cup ever.
I mean, that's pretty slick.
The last time that happened
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the Panthers are not even that old of a franchise. I mean, okay, 30 years, but
dude, the last time they were in the Stanley Cup Finals, I saw some crazy stat. It was like
wasn't it like
27 years
90s?
ago.
Yeah, it was
It
like
was
96.
27 years ago.
Yeah.
Tom Brady hadn't thrown an NFL pass. I forget the rest of it, but it was insane. The rest of that stat, insane. But the last time two teams played in the Stanley Cup Finals that were guaranteed to win their first cup was the Knights and the Capitals in the 17 and 18 finals.
I'll say this, and I think this is going to be a perfect segue. Something you would never usually hear me say, but there's a good chance you might see more viewers watching the Stanley Cup Finals than you will see viewers watching the NBA Finals. Because
I know what you're saying right now, but everything I listened to and read today was how bitter the NHL fans are because
what?
Because Vegas, their sixth year in the league, and Florida, a small market team, are in the finals.
Oh, what they wanted they wanted Vegas to play a better team.
And a funny stat that I also heard today was throughout the playoffs, obviously not the city of the team playing, but the number one viewed audiences watching the playoffs without a team in the playoffs were none other than, and this is insane, and this just shows you that there ain't shit to do in this city in the winter. And we've talked about this in other podcasts. Buffalo, number one, and Philadelphia, number two. Now, Buffalo has a little interest in the Knights because of the Jack Eichel trade.
Yeah.
Right? And, another fun fact I saw today is Jack Eichel is 100% in the playoffs of never losing a series.
Well, yeah, when he only makes the playoffs for the first time.
It's still a stat.
I'm just saying.
I can't make it up.
They've never lost a game. They've only played one. I mean,
you can't win them all if you don't win the first.
Just saying. You ain't wrong, but
so what we were talking about before we went into the hockey was, Game 7, Heat versus Celtics. Go.
Ramble. All I'll say is this: how do I say this? The NBA. Thank you, Steph Curry. Thank you. Everyone now wants to shoot 3-pointers because that's the thing to do. And yes, has most of the league transitioned into that type of scoring? Yes. Has percentages gone up over time? Yes. That being said, if you go into a series or even into a game and your game plan is this, hey, penetrate, kick out, get open three, take open 3 looks, but we're still going to shoot a large number of threes. If you're playing that game and you're like 3 for 28, here's an idea, game plan, try something else. Boston didn't do that. Boston was like, you know what? It'll come back. It'll come around.
Did it help about Tatum getting hurt, though?
No. Okay. This is okay. Thank you for saying that. Did Tatum injury on the first series hurt him? Absolutely. But one player doesn't win you a game. Well, what's up, Marcus Smart? What's up, Brogdon? What's up, other, bench players? I mean, when Marcus Smart had 8 turnovers and only shot 8 for 23 from the field, you have 2 superstars and great role players. If one superstar goes down, you need the second to step up, which he normally does. He just had a bad game. And if you miss a couple of buckets and everyone else misses a couple of buckets, it's hard to score points. So
you start to pucker
a little bit. I mean, is it how much of it is on the first year head coach? How much of it is not on the first year coach? How much is it on just the luck of the draw? How much is it was their time? I mean, look, I think they snuck out of game 6 with a miracle. I mean, we brought it up last episode. So
you think they snuck out game 6?
I mean,
Did you by any chance get to see the video of the wedding that was taking place in
dude,
Miami?
Yeah, that was
that. Dude. How good was that? How good was that?
Who can we give credit to the guy that was running around with the flag? No, the guy that had the flag. Did you see that guy?
Yes.
There's a guy that's running around with like a 10-foot flag, heat flag, running around the dance floor. And I'm like, what the hell?
Could you imagine the dude that had to tell him, hey, we lost? Could you imagine the guy that had to tell that whole wedding party running around with that flag? Yeah. You think
glad it wasn't me.
Dude, I watched
or if
that.
it was the one Boston fan at the wedding, like, ha
sucker.
Sorry about it.
They were so excited. And like you said, they had the big 10-foot Miami Heat flag running around.
And
let's be honest.
Afterwards.
Let's be honest. Did anybody give the Heat a chance to win game 7? I'll be honest, and I'll eat my crow. No chance.
No, I thought they were gonna be the first team to come back 0-3 and win it, and they did not. So,
and it was ugly.
It's look. I've said this once before, and it came back and bit me in the ass, and I'll never forget it, which is the last time I was watching a game that seemed like it was so lopsided. I was like, you know what? For the sake of argument and making this game interesting, I guess I'd be okay with the Patriots scoring some points. And the last time I said that was when it was 28-3 Atlanta, and we all know what happened. So ever since then, I don't ever say, well, I know this is a blowout and it's boring, but can we at least make it interesting? Yeah, I stopped saying that after that game. So watching the Boston game, I was like, well, do I switch to hockey? Oh, this is a blowout. Is tennis on? Is beach volleyball on?
Hey, I heard Notre Dame won the national championship in lacrosse yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they came out WWE style with the playing their music on the bagpipes.
Notre Dame did?
Yeah.
Good for them. You know what pissed me off?
Enough do you have to take your hat off for it? Let's tell me.
Yeah. One of my favorite wrestlers from WWE, none other than the Nature Boy Ric Flair, was literally doing his patented woo on the Jumbotron in Dallas. So, you know what, Ric Flair? You can be styling, you can be profiling, you can go all night, just ask the girls, but guess what? The Vegas Knights just wax that ass. So you're from North Carolina. Why don't you pull for the Hurricanes and get off the Stars bandwagon? The end.
Woo!
Yeah, exactly. and if I could do his peacock dance and be on video right now, I would do it. But I can't because I'm on a stupid Samsung Chromebook and it can't see it all. So, I mean, I'm just going to show everybody what it looks like.
We're gonna post edit this in, is what you're saying?
It could be an Instagram reel. I'm not.
Folks, check out Bald Guys on the Bench on Instagram. You'll see it here first. Please, Lord. Please let us see Scotty Waugh bopping like a peacock over here.
So, Graham, you sent me something today that really just blew my mind, and that was about Pat Riley.
Yeah. When I said that to you, I was like, dude, we have to talk about this. I mean, go ahead, lead with it.
In the history of the NBA Finals, none other than Pat Riley has been involved in 25% of the total NBA Finals. As a player, as a coach, as an executive.
Is that good?
What? Like, I think the stat was, and this is not a smack yourself in the face moment. 3 as a player, I want to say 6 as a coach, and 10 as an executive.
Yes.
Something around those.
You are right.
Dude.
And it's not a smack yourself in the phone moment, by the way.
No. I've already cheers the computer.
What you
I'll
said.
cheers it again. But dude, how insane is that? And this is why you and I love sports. Because the mind-blowing stats that we're talking about tonight, Boston losing game 7 to an 8 seed in hockey and in basketball at home, Pat Riley, 25% of all the NBA finals.
Bro, the Miami Heat have been in the Eastern Conference Finals 7 out of 10 times, or 7 out of 11 times. Is that good?
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
And I think people were giving Pat Riley flack for hiring Eric Spoelstra. I mean,
and did I not hear that my boy Eric, did he make a guarantee last night before the game? Did you hear that?
I mean,
pretty sure he did.
He definitely did. I mean, look, the way they, I heard that, as well as their, walk around practice went, and, the mindset that, they had in their meetings and what they talked about, he said, hey, we're dialed in, we're focused, and we're ready to go. And honestly, that is the only, that is the only.
For our listeners, aka Andy, that was not me. That was Graham.
Well, there's video evidence now.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Good point. I forgot about that part. But really? He guaranteed it?
Oh, thank you. That reminds me. Okay. That helps my point. That is the only thing that gives me any confidence that the Heat aren't getting swept. I'm going to be honest.
Graham, can you do me a favor before you say anything else? Can you wipe your chin, because I think you got some burp on you right there. Yeah. Oh no, that's just because you have a gray beard. My bad.
Shut the.
My bad. So,
you're unbelievable,
dude. What do you think? What's this series going? The whole world. Nobody has given the Heat a chance, and that's what I'm
sorry. Are you?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because you said what?
What I said earlier was the Heat are going to win game 1 because they have the momentum, and the Nuggets haven't played in a while.
Yeah,
and then they're going to lose 4 straight.
I mean, I told you they're getting swept. Bring out the brooms. But
you did. They're not getting swept.
But hey, the way playoff Jimmy, you got to give people with momentum credit. They did what they did. They didn't beat bums, so I'll give them credit. That being said, I still got them in 5.
Who did they beat? Hold on. Who did they beat in the Eastern Conference?
Who did the Heat I don't know. Beat? They beat the Bucks. Then they beat the Knicks, and then they beat Boston. I mean, they beat the 1 and 2 seed, so I give them credit. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying, have you seen Jamal Murray? Have you seen Nikola Jokic? Have you seen Aaron Gordon?
Here's a better question. Have you seen Jokic's wife or girlfriend that got posted today?
Oh God.
Ooh.
What the fuck?
I'm just gonna say this. I I wish I was 7 foot tall and threw the ball in the basket like I was throwing it in the ocean from the beach. That's all I'm going to say. If you haven't, look it up and just thank me later.
All right, I'm gonna have to look this up right now because I thought you were going the complete opposite. I haven't seen what she looked at, and I thought I was like, "Wow, you're really throwing this woman under the bus."
No, we're not talking about Bubba Watson's wife right now. I mean, come on.
Oh.
I mean, shots fired. Yeah. Have you ever seen Dirk Nowitzki? Yeah, he's married to Bubba Watson. Anyhow, keep going. My boy Rob's gonna die when he hears that right now. I can't wait. But anyhow. I'm sorry, Bubba Watson. You're probably a pretty cool guy. You're just
my god, that is
just saying.
Oh my lord. Wow.
And more NBA news that came out today. Can we talk about your boy from the Warriors?
Yes, thank you. So in a surprising move, Bob Myers, folks, if you don't know who it is, that is the general manager for the Golden State Warriors, decided that he's going to step down. And the reason why we're actually making news of this is when a guy that drafted Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and the other countless players that are on their squad, executive of the year kind of is a big deal. And the thing that's interesting about it is how much of that has to do with the three of them getting older, but especially Draymond, and this is a contract year, and how close he personal relationship with them. Did he want to deal with that? Do they want to, Draymond still wants to get paid, but he's going to have to take a hometown discount to stay. Who knows? But the guy walked out on his own, and he's a free agent, and he ain't going to have a problem getting a job. I'll tell you that. So
no, he's not.
I mean, I heard he might make his way down the 5, and, Clippers are looking, a few other people are looking. So we shall see. That being said,
kind of weird.
It's look, dude got Draymond in the 2nd round.
Right.
Guy knows what he's doing, huh?
Kind of a smart fella.
I mean, so it's interesting news. I mean, for the NBA, it's pretty hot. Also, other hot news. One of the big coaching names, Nick Nurse, decided to not go with the Phoenix Suns and went with the Philadelphia 76ers. Don't know why, but good luck with that, buddy. So
we talked about that last night. Where was Nick Nurse before? Because I don't know.
Toronto.
Okay. Did he win the championship? When Kawhi was there?
Yeah. Remember the old Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals when Kawhi Leonard hit that fadeaway 3?
Yeah, he was their head coach. Okay.
Yes.
Kawhi said, night. Sleep tight.
After it bounced on the rim 3 times and then finally went in.
And then, right. Jeez.
I mean, so
I don't know. So let's get into a sport that you and I met each other from. And literally, oh no, basket weaving.
I know, I'm just kidding. Basket weaving.
Yeah. Last week, our episode, we talked about the PGA Championship a lot, and we talked about a PGA member like myself a lot, and about the amazing story that Michael Block showed the country last week.
Right.
Well, we all know he got a sponsor exemption to play at the Colonial this past week, the Charles Schwab, whatever it's called now, Charles Schwab, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And went to Colonial in Dallas and missed the cut by shooting 81.874. And he was only 2 over through maybe 9 holes. You and I were talking about it, and then had a terrible back 9. Well, you know what? When a guy like Michael Block has the best 4 rounds of his life and goes out and plays for the 2nd week in a row, what do you expect is going to happen?
What do you expect? He had 4 rounds of his life back to back to back to back. That in itself is amazing. Then on top of it, to play who we got to play with.
On
Then on top
Saturday
of
and
that,
Sunday. Plays with Rose on Saturday and Rory on Sunday.
bro, you ever heard the saying how, men and or women can put people up on a pedestal? Our boy Block, there's up on a pedestal, and then there's like 30 feet above the pedestal. That's where this guy was. When Jim Nantz says, "Hey, you got a free invite to my backyard at Pebble," I mean, everyone and their mother who watches golf is on this dude. Rightfully so. Much love, bro. Got it. I'm just saying.
Did you see his interview on Thursday after he shot 81?
Yeah, I did.
And did you see how emotional he got when he said this? He goes, "Look, I've shot 58 before and a member guest. I've shot 59 before. Never obviously in a PGA Tour event." He goes, "But the coolest thing for me is tomorrow I get to go home and do what? See my son.
See his kids."
And did you see how emotional he got? That right there was so cool to me. And the dude rode the wave, dude. He won $288,000 in the PGA Championship, hired an agent, Raising Cane's, the
2 days later, thanks for coming.
2 days later, logo on his left sleeve, and then does an interview with Barstool Sports on Monday, right after the PGA Championship. We talked about it last week. Then does an interview with none other than Bob Menery and says what anybody would ever say. And what is that? Yeah, I played with Rory. If I hit it as far as Rory, I'd be a top 10 player in the world too. And people gave him shit, including Barstool Sports, who he went out of his way to do the first podcast with. Well, guess what, Barstool Sports? Here's something. Scott Wasco, Bald Guys on the Bench, co-host with Graham Cohen. If I hit it 60 yards farther, guess what? Would I be top 10 in the world? But no, I'd be up there. If Graham Cohen could throw a baseball 40 miles an hour faster, would he be in the Major League Baseball? Yeah, he would. I'm just going to say, if Andy wasn't 5'6" and could dunk and was an athlete, could he be in the NBA? Maybe. Well, you know what? It all goes back to the old saying, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. So Barstool Sports, for Barstool Sports to come out and say, hey, Michael Block had his week in fame and he's already killed it. Dude, go review pizzas. Get out of sports. You don't have a clue. You're like a man with no arms. You can't hang. Come on, dude. This dude came in 15th place in the PGA Championship and beat household names, getting outdriven by 40 yards and still got it done.
Hey, and like we just said, all you got to do is have the opportunity to play an event. And then once that happens, you just need to put 4 rounds together. It just so happened the 4 rounds that he put together just so happened to be at the PGA Championship. So pat on the back to him. I mean, those 4 rounds could have been at, the Del Mar Open. But no, it was at the PGA Championship. So kudos. I mean, that's all you could say. Kudos.
And once again, I'm not beating a dead horse. KFC Radio, I'm waiting for you. Any kind of response would be cool. Like, tell me to go F myself. Tell me to kick rocks. Anything. PGA members and head golf pros are gym teachers for adults. Yeah. Well, that gym teacher for an adult just came in 15th place in the PGA Championship.
Had the best 4 days of his life. I guarantee you the money is great, but dude, the swag swag is not even the right word.
Swag ain't even the word,
bro. The unbelievable opportunity to feel such a way that everyone is just so appreciative of what you gave them, in the sense of like what you showed them and the courage and the resilience of what you did. Like, just I don't want to say the praises, but just the positive reinforcement from everyone outside to him, I think is worth more than the money. I mean, don't get me wrong, the money is nice, but like, dude, who doesn't like this guy right now? No one.
You and I talked about it last week on their episode. That hole in one when he slam dunked it is going to be shown in every PGA championship.
Facts.
As far, I mean, whatever. He's got an exemption to the Royal Canadian Open or whatever it's called now. But whatever. The dude missed a cut. Doesn't even matter.
He gives zero craps. I guarantee you.
I mean, the guy had a welcome home party at his club in Orange County on Sunday night. Everybody showed up. He's got a meet and greet tomorrow at Raising Cane's in Orange County. Are you kidding me? I'll throw Raising Cane's logo on my shirt for $50,000 for the next year. You think I give two shits if I shot 81-74? Yeah, don't care. I mean,
bye-bye.
Yeah, who cares? I mean, I'll even put a KFC logo on my shirt. I mean, come on, dude. Like, let's get real right now. I mean,
I'm a Popeyes guy myself, but
it is what it is, dude. Anybody giving this guy shit for saying what he said, you obviously have never played a sport. It's easy to, what do they say? It's easy to throw the stone inside the glass house or whatever. Don't even care. You don't have a clue.
Sometimes like you just need to throw something out there to see if it sticks. They wanted to say something to get some controversy, and hey, they got it. It's here. What's up?
Just the fact that he had to come out on when you were here last week and make a rebuttal to what he said on Instagram just shows you how stupid our world is that we live in.
Well, I mean, that's a topic. Those are topics for another time, but you ain't wrong on that.
I mean, come on. But let's talk about something that was amazing and how lucky was it this weekend. I'm not a NASCAR fan. I'm not a car racing fan, but did you see the Indianapolis 500 this week? And
okay, first off, the adjectives that you use to describe what we're about to talk about are definitely not the ones I would have used. Lucky? Exciting, memorable, lucky. Yeah, lucky that someone didn't die.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Did you see the tire get thrown?
Yeah. Yeah. At first, when I saw the clip, I was like, what is that? And then when I heard it was a tire, I was like, oh, damn. Like, can you imagine getting hit with a tire like that? You done.
Did you see the car that it hit?
Yeah.
In the parking lot?
I mean, dude, if that would have hit a person dead on, those people would have bumped into anything. I mean, multiple broken bones, if not just fatality on itself as it is. My question is who pays for the damages?
I don't know, but I'm just going to say I've watched it over and over and over, and I'm just like unbelievably lucky.
Look, that could have been a great payday, I'll tell you that. I mean, it would have sucked. Hey, I always say this, folks, word to the wise, it's never worth it to get hurt to get paid. Trust me, it's not.
Yeah.
That being said,
no chance.
Boy, that'd have been a nice little check.
If the person would have lived.
Yeah, well, that's a fair point. If. So luckily, that white Chevy, whatever that was.
Whatever it was.
It's not very recognizable. That front end isn't very recognizable. But speaking of something that's not going to be recognizable in Arizona anymore, word on the street is, look, we are, the third, fourth week? Yeah, so we're in the fourth week of May, and which is normally a slow season for NFL news. Hello, folks. What we're ending the show with. This ain't little news. Scott, what just happened within the last few days?
Can you say tank by the Arizona Cardinals?
Look,
I don't even know what to say.
The NFL can't say anything because can you really pay him what he was going to get paid? I mean, they shouldn't have taken that contract on anyway, regardless. A wide receiver worth $30 million. Get the bleep.
Do you remember what they traded, what the Texans traded for him?
I tell you one thing, probably the greatest move Bill O'Brien ever did for Houston.
What? Do you remember the running back the Texans got for him?
Yeah.
Who?
They got David Johnson. Right?
You said the greatest?
No. No, the greatest swindle ever.
You mean the Cardinals made the greatest trade ever? Here, you can have David Johnson. I'm going to take D-Hop.
Okay. Let me counter that argument. What has D-Hop really done since he's been there?
Are we really asking this question?
Yeah. I'm dead serious. Yeah, has he done more than what Homeboy did? 1,000%.
He's a Hall of Fame.
Been hurt. How much? Yeah, but how much of that Hall of Fame was when he got?
He's a first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver that has had no quarterbacks his entire career in the NFL. He's had Kyler. I'm 5'2" Murray.
Hold on a second. You're trying to tell me.
Watson.
You're telling me as of right now, if the careers ended right now, you're telling me his resume is as good as Calvin Johnson's?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But I'm telling
that out. I just don't think he's a first ballot. That's all I'm saying.
I'm telling you,
I think he'll make the Hall of Fame.
What the guy's done with the lack of talent throwing the ball to him.
I'm not saying he's not a beast. I'm just saying he's not been consistently on the field the last 2.5 years. That's all I'm saying.
But what happened in Arizona with Kyler being out?
Oh, chemistry.
God knows how long. God knows how long he's going to be out. I mean, he might not play till week 7 or 8. They're saying the Cardinals are obviously tanking for homeboy from USC or homeboy from UNC.
Dude, all those extra picks that they got from Houston, like they're going to have like 15 picks in the draft next 2 years.
Yeah.
So in the first, second round. So that being said, he's a free agent. Where's he going? What have you heard? What do you think? Where would you like him to go? Where would you not like him to go?
I don't care where he goes as long as he doesn't go to the Chiefs.
And that's the best fit for him too. That's the worst part.
I don't know, dude. If I'm him, I look at that team in the Northeast that has Allen and that has Diggs.
Oh, Buffalo. I'd love for him to go to Buffalo, mainly because you and I both got Diggs in the fantasy league, and that would help us out considering Diggs can't score a touchdown the last 6 games of the season to save his life. But regardless of the fact.
But that right there makes them.
Yes and no.
Obviously,
they could still look. They could still score. Buffalo couldn't create pass rush. Hence, when Von Miller went down, that's when the Bills went down. So even if they got Hopkins, yeah, it would help, but that doesn't solve their problems. Like the Bills need to rush the passer like every other team in this league. So, it is what it is. I'm just saying.
I just don't want him to go to the Chiefs.
I don't either.
Kelsey, Tony, Hopkins.
That's
Kermit.
Pretty formidable.
I mean, where do I think he's going to go? I think he's going to go to the Ravens.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd be okay with that. Look, I'd rather him go to the Ravens than him go to Cleveland. I mean, look, there's been reports that he's still buddies with his boy Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson was recently asked, I think it's some like golf event or something, hey, what do you think about your boy getting released? And he's like, hey, love the dude to death. It's the homie. And I'd love to see him here in Cleveland. He said, obviously he can't make those decisions, but dude, have him on one side, Amari Cooper on the other. They got Njoku as a tight end. They got something Peoples. I can't remember his name right now, but I mean, they got options, and they have Peoples Jones, and they got Nick Chubb running the ball. Look, this is not a change of topic, but if Stefanski doesn't do it this year, is he there for another? Well, I mean,
Deshaun finally gets an offseason with the team where he's not suspended.
Right.
He can work out in the off, create that continuity
chemistry
with the team.
Yeah,
chemistry,
of course.
Would it be a stupid play for Hopkins? No. He gets to go back with his old quarterback, who he already knows. Cooper's there, like you said, Njoku, who I think is a very underrated tight end in the league. If the guy would stay on the field, I mean, he's amazing. And then you got Chubb, and you got an amazing offensive line. Is that a bad spot to go? No.
No, it's not. He ain't gonna like Cleveland very much, but I'll tell you that. I mean, how much fun is Amari Cooper having in Cleveland right now?
Well, now he's got nobody on the other side.
No, I'm just saying. You think Amari Cooper's in Cleveland right now? That dude's at his house in Florida or California right now.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's amazing that we're still talking about the NFL, and it's almost June. That's why I love the NFL. But some funny news that I saw this week. Well, not funny. Homeboy, your quarterback, Pickett, car got stolen with his playbook in the car.
Is this what you were going to try to get me on earlier? You were talking about?
No. I just was thinking about it. I'm like, dude, I saw it, and I'm like, Pickett got his car stolen, and the playbook was in the car.
Oh, dude, everyone from Pittsburgh's been roasting, just roasting it on Twitter, being like, dude, perfect. Now we can get, now we can have, our offensive coordinator, whose name is blanking my mind right now, Matt Canada, maybe we'll give him a chance to create some new plays and get rid of that garbage that we've been doing the last 2 years. So who knows? We'll see. I mean, the dude's been caught. They get the playbooks come back. It is, dude, don't mess with anyone dude, if you're in Pittsburgh, don't mess with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You'll get caught.
The guy that stole the car got busted?
Yeah.
And the playbook was returned?
It was. I mean, but the thing was, when they got the playbook back. No, but there's a lot of dude, there was a lot of crayon marks, so I don't know if that was him writing on it or if it was the offensive coordinator's playbook. At least the notes for the offense are on laminated paper with color scheme on it.
You saw it, right? I mean, you saw the offense. You saw the offense balls. I mean, Matt Canada, when you need some advice, bro, I'll leave you my cell phone number in the bio. I mean, let's go, bro. I mean, anybody can coach NFL athletes. It takes a real guru to coach 12-year-olds. Just throwing that out there.
I mean, you are definitely not wrong.
I mean, give me Najee Harris on my team, and thanks for playing. White sunglasses would be like a man with no arms. You couldn't hang.
Let me tell you something. Don't want to sound like a homer, and granted, and I've said this to you before off
you're
there.
Always the homer.
I know, but dude, Broderick Jones, and then we got big boy Williams. I mean, Washington. Look.
All right, can we just say something real quick?
I took Najee the last 2 years. I think year 3, boy's gonna shine. I'm just saying.
Can we just say something real quick before we end this podcast and this episode?
Let's do it.
Can we talk about, as I take my hat off and show my bald ass head, can we talk about Le'Veon Bell and what he came out and said yesterday?
That's the best part. Okay.
The best part was he came out and said he is not happy with the way things ended in Pittsburgh.
Duh.
But
is that a shocker?
But I'm going to go ahead real quick, pat myself on the back, because I told you that he was never playing another down for the Steelers again before it happened. And you were like, oh, shut up, you're stupid. But then he came out and he said that he smoked some weed before every one of his games. He's like, yeah, I had 150 yards, smoked weed before every game. You and I were talking about it. And what was my comment to you? Lawrence Taylor.
Oh. I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was basically to the fact of, yeah, I'm going to do what I need to do. And what I need to do is I need to take care of business. And that's what he did. So.
And it goes down to one of my favorite movies ever. And that was The Waterboy. When Lawrence Taylor's on The Waterboy and Adam Sandler looks at him and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, to my next point, don't smoke crack. So Le'Veon Bell comes out and says he's smoking weed before games and he's putting up his numbers. Lawrence Taylor smoking crack before games. We all know which one of those two. We all know which one of those are
what
better.
Kind of hold on a second. What are you trying to say right now?
I'm trying to say the world that's beating up Le'Veon Bell right now needs to shut the hell up because he was doing something that's not bad for you.
Oh,
Lawrence Taylor
I was like,
is
where are
out
you
there.
going with this?
Lawrence Taylor's out there smoking crack before games.
Hey, if we haven't figured out that certain people get passes versus others, then it's just, unfortunately, life is just unfair, and it is what it is. You know, we can turn the cheek on a lot of things, and on some things, rightfully so. But, you know, in the back of people's mind, they still got to know that, hey, don't forget, you still did that. So it's just whether or not you remember it. So that being said, yes, I saw the interview. I think the not the funniest part, but the most interesting part was in the interview. He basically said, he's like, you know, I didn't want to leave, but when I finally did go to the other teams, it was pretty apparent right away that I fucked up. He's like, this organization's not run how like they do it in Pittsburgh, and this is not going to be as easy as it was before, or not easy, but like just a more solid organization that, you know, stuff can be figured out and done and yada yada. And it's just like, hey, we've been saying that the whole time. And look, the NFL is a business, and I get it. And especially for running backs, it's tough because they've been getting screwed the last 10 plus years with these contracts. And I get it. Like, he could have got his, but my thing.
Time out.
What?
Time out. You just said something that I have to disagree with 100%.
Oh,
please. You said that NFL running back has been getting screwed.
Okay.
100% false. How are you going
They had the uptick?
Hold on. Let me talk, then you can talk.
All right.
Give me my 10 seconds. The NFL running back has been getting screwed. Well, what was Breece Hall doing last year as a rookie? Blowing away every record from the Jets until he got hurt. You can't say the NFL running back has been getting screwed because guess what? There's another one in the third round that I'm going to get next year.
So you're helping my argument?
No, I'm saying the NFL running back's not getting screwed because why am I going to give an NFL running back a massive contract when I can draft fresh legs next year? AKA,
which furthers my point. The running back, the league, or not, I would say the league average, but when they signed the franchise tag, notice how running backs number has gone down considerably, and now the running backs tag number is pretty much lower than most positions on the field, or at least most major positions.
They should.
Well, that's because the league has changed. It's not the one back system. Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I get it. The league has changed. Look, all you got to say is two words: Ezekiel Elliott, and I mean, no running backs getting paid like that ever again. So
again.
Which is why I'm kind of curious to figure out what's going to happen with Saquon Barkley.
And you and I were talking today on the phone on my way home from work, and your boy that's a Falcons fan was talking and bringing the hype with Bijan Robinson. I mean, has there been a running back that's come out of the draft with this much hype lately? No.
Yeah, Saquon.
That's it. I don't even think Saquon had this much hype, dude.
Bro, Saquon went 2 overall. He had the hype. He went 2 overall. He had
that was years ago.
That was 5 years ago, dude.
The NFL has changed a lot in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know that.
Okay. Fair.
I mean,
I guess.
But
I look, I'm not going to disagree with your point because you're right. Look, next man up. Dude, there's teams that are playing 3 running backs. Look at the 49ers.
Right.
And that's with Christian McCaffrey.
Right. You see Eckler trying to be Billy Badass and demanding a trade? Yeah, how'd that trade work out?
I mean,
It didn't. You know why? Because the running back position, you're getting $7.5 million, and you've got 10 more touchdowns than anybody in the league in the last 3 years.
So maybe he knew that, and maybe he just wanted to flex to get a little more extra incentive cash. And look, I ain't mad at it.
He's my running back, Graham. He's my running back. My favorite team. But you know what? Flex D's. Okay. Flex D's. When Mike Dubb,
how about that?
When Mike Dubb, when Joey Bosa, when Khalil Mack, and Keenan Allen all restructure their contracts to make room for money, and you're trying to be Billy Badass.
And all of those contracts were how much more than his?
Yeah, because he's a running back.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just saying.
How much money did Jamal Williams sign for in New Orleans? $4 million.
Jamal Williams is not Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is going in the top 4 fantasy overall out of every player.
Are we talking fantasy or are we talking football?
Jamal Williams is going to be 168. Just saying.
I hope you pick him at 168 because I'll pick him way before that, especially with Kamara's dumbass in jail.
If Jamal Williams is there at 168, you'd be taking him too. So don't give me that bullshit.
Oh, I'll take him before that, especially with Kamara in jail for beating up whatever. That's another point that we're not getting into tonight. Graham, YouTube episode number 2 is in the books. Real quick, I'm just going to go out on a limb. And I'm just going to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're an hour and about 6 minutes into this episode. I'm just going to say it right now. Watch out. The memorial this week at Jack's Place in Ohio, home of the greatest milkshakes on the PGA Tour. None other than Ricky Fowler winning the event.
Let's go.
Wastradamus has spoken. You're welcome. Place that bet. I did tonight, 35-1. If you want to get him in the top 20, he's 17-1. Thank me next week. You're welcome. I love you all. Share our episode on YouTube with your friends. Hit the subscribe button. As Graham said, hit that notification bell. Let's go. I love you all. Graham, lead us out.
And as the best homie always says, booba!
Go Knights, go. Good night, friends.
I love how you did that. That is great.